Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I would like to show you a little bit about a new game, Wildmender. This just came out around the end of September and was made by Muse Games. Wildmender is a game about exploring a big desert world and bringing life back to it in the form of a garden. You start out in kind of a desolate wasteland, but through playing, we try to grow lots of different plants and bring life back to this world. Now, I had been following this game before it came out, but Future Friends was nice enough to send me a review code, so thank you guys very much. I was excited to check this one out, and you know what? It's been pretty cool so far. Let's head in, and I will show you what I have done so far. All right, we are in Wildmender, and this is my current garden. Now, no, it doesn't look that impressive. I'm still a beginner. I'm still figuring out how to do things. I know that if you look online, people who've played this a lot, they have beautiful gardens built, but mine's still a work in progress. So as I said, we are stuck out here in this desert wasteland where nothing can grow. And when you start this game out, all you really have is this tree and a little pool of water. And from there, you have to find seeds, plant things, water them, take care of them, and your influence slowly grows. So you can see at this time I have dug some little paths for the water so I can spread it out. I've got these little, streams going out, which gives me a little more wet area to plant. I've got a couple of plants growing here in my wet soil. But outside of that, it's still just sand until I've expanded further. You do start with Vidyas here. He's like a guide spirit. Teaches you how to use your tools and goes through the tutorials and things. But yeah, Vidyas gives you quests to run out in the desert and find things. You bring things back here to your garden. And then you can start planting seeds, crafting. I was able to make a couple of different things here, like this workbench. I have a compost bin where I can make fertilizer. I have a storage basket for all my extra stuff. And this flame sigil, which I just built, I think it's supposed to shoot any enemies that come by, but that hasn't happened so far. I do see up at the top it says there's going to be a wraith attack soon, which I'm a little afraid of. But yeah, when you start out, all of the ground around here is just sand. It's garbage, and plants don't like it. So you have to start out by planting a bunch of dune grass. Pretty sure I have some seeds somewhere. Yeah, dune grass seeds. So you can see we go to plant it, and it's like, oh, here's where the soil is wet. Here it's a little bit too close to other plants, but if we find a green spot here, we could plant it there. And dune grass turns the ground from sand into this, I don't know what they call it, but more healthy soil. So I could plant one out here. And then we'll have to take care of it for a while until it grows. And once it's fully grown, we'll have some healthy soil around here, and I can plant some other stuff. But for now, let's get out our water bottle and give it a little water. There we go. We can fill up our water bottle here in our water source. Make sure all of our plants are well watered. And there's plenty of water to go around. It's not infinite, though. I'm pretty sure if we check the spring here, it only makes a certain amount of water per hour. So, theoretically, if you spread it out too thin, it could run out. But so far, I haven't had an issue with that. We do also have to drink the water, of course, to stay alive. You can see up in the top left corner, I have a thirst meter, a hunger meter, because you have to find food out here or grow some. We've got our health. That purple diamond in the middle, I don't know what that is yet. I don't think anything's come of that yet. And then below that you'll see 38 out of 38. That's how much spirit energy I'm holding. Because this game has a day-night cycle, and it's kind of interesting because in most survival crafting games, it's usually oh, during the day, you can go explore, you can find things, bring it back to your camp, and then at night you kind of stick around your camp because it's dangerous, out in the wilderness. But this one, being in a desert, is kind of backwards. At night, you want to go out and explore because it's cooler. And it's easier to survive out in the desert when it's dark. But when the sun comes up, it gets hot and windy. and you can get dehydrated. And so during the day is kind of when you want to stick around camp and work on your plants and your garden, so that at night you can go explore for things. And I've found, some treasure chests out there with seeds and crafting materials. I've also found ghosts. At night, all of your healthy plants create this spirit energy that I'm holding on to, and you can use that to speak with ghosts. And when you've gotten memories from ghosts, you can use that to buy skills on these skill trees. You can see I still have a long ways to go. I've only learned how to do a few things. But in order to get down to these advanced skills, I'm going to need to find more ghosts. There's a lot of stuff to unlock. Let's see. I just finished kind of a big story beat, which means I got some new abilities. It was this memory seed, I think. So yeah, I went around, removed some corruption around the desert, and saved like this temple that I found. And I earned this memory seed, which is supposed to help me traverse the world. I can use it to create a root bridge, which could help me, I guess, cross gaps, or unsafe land. I can create vines on things, which I think will help me climb them more easily. Oh yeah, you climb a lot faster on those vines. So that helps. And then the other thing this can do is lay a flower path, and to be honest, I do not know what this does. I can put these flowers down, and I was like, oh, maybe I can make maybe a circle or run faster or something, but I don't actually know what it does yet. Oh yeah, that is what it does. Okay, because you can see up in the top left, I got like a speed buff from running near this path. So if it's like, oh, I want to, run out and then run back, I could lay down a flower path and it would help me get back faster. That's cool. Root bridge. Oh, that's dangerous. Probably don't want to climb out there. Anyway, the sun's coming up, which means we got to get back to camp. You don't have to, but it's going to get hot and thirsty out there for sure. Wraith attack incoming. All right, this is what I was worried about. Let's get out our copper mirror. This is kind of my... Ooh, wraiths. Kind of my defensive item. I can shoot light. I can reflect things back at them. This has not happened before, but I know I can blast them with this mirror. Get out of here. Ha! My sigil. It's paying off. This is my garden. Yeah. Any other wraiths want some? Are we okay? Oh yeah, we got them. Well, that was fun. So yeah, I guess you got to do a little bit of defense. That's the first time I got attacked. But I think a few flame sigils would take care of me. Now, I don't have like a good source of food right now, so I've been eating like seeds and random stuff that I found while exploring. Spoiled seeds, that doesn't sound very good. I'm going to get poisoned. I think I need to eat some of these things earlier before they go bad. They're all getting spoiled. Amaranth grain, I can eat that. There we go. Food is good. My health's gone up. Can drink a little bit more water. Now, as we explore, you'll see that we have this Oasis gate, and as you explore, you'll find other ones that you can use the spirit energy to unlock them. Here's our map. You can see everywhere I've explored so far, and I assume that there's a lot more out here that I haven't run into. But if you find other gates, which are these blue ones, we can spend some spirit energy to teleport out there, and I can continue exploring from there. This big tiger is that temple that I saved, and there's some other things out here that I've run into, but I haven't, like, activated yet. But lots more to explore. And my main quest right now is basically, I think there's temples to a couple of other gods out in the desert somewhere, and I'm supposed to, find and save them as well. And it sounded like each time I save one, I'm going to get more abilities. But I haven't gotten that far. You can see up there now I'm getting sun and wind exposure from the cruel desert sun. Yeah, there's like a shade system. Like if I stand in the shadow, I'm not exposed to the sun anymore. So if we got our garden growing, with some tall trees and bushes and things, I would actually be safe from the sun and the wind. I'm actually growing a big tree here, but of course it takes a long time to grow. I'm hoping it'll also be a good source of acorns, because I've needed acorns for a couple of important things. Look at this, though. This ancient sunburst shrub. I found those seeds out there somewhere, and it's looking quite good. I'm growing an umbrella mushroom, which you can actually use. It might protect you from the sun, but you can use it to float down from high spaces. So it's been pretty cool so far. And one thing I haven't been able to do yet, but apparently this game is multiplayer. You can play with up to 4 people in the same garden, which I think would be very fun. But I don't think I know anyone who has the game yet. One thing I did worry about when I started this was like where to plant things, because I'm like, oh, if I plant this here, it'll grow well, but is that really where I want it later? But luckily they've made it very easy to move things. I can just grab this shrub and just like move it wherever. I can just say put it here instead, and boom, we've moved it. So if you like to have a nice and neat garden, rearrange things, it's very easy to do so once you've grown them. Oh yeah, the punishing heat. It's so hot out here. It's the middle of the day. So I'm going to get thirsty. Well, it's afternoon, so let's go take a nap. Rest until dusk. There we go. Now when the sun goes down, you can see the spirit energy comes out. We can go fill up, although I'm currently full. And you saw a lot of that energy fly towards my sigil. It's because this thing, its original purpose is it stores a bunch of energy. So if I used what I was holding, I think I could come here and get a bunch from it. But we're good for now. Let's go ahead and eat and drink a little bit. Eat some of those seeds. Oh, I got a little bit poisoned. Those seeds are not good to eat. You can't eat anymore. You can't tell me what to do, game. And you can see my new dune grass is already starting to grow. Got a couple other seeds over there that are ready, but let's teleport out into the desert and see if we can find something. Let's go over here and head southeast. Here we are. So this is the temple that I was able to save just recently. You can see that I set up a flower path when I didn't know what it did. But when you start the game, this whole thing is really corrupted, and I had to come here and defeat some enemies to save it. That's where I got the memory seed powers. Now, what else is out here? Let's bring our mirror just in case. Ooh, a very pretty aurora. Looking around, we can find some crafting materials. Maybe we'll find some new seeds we can plant back at the garden. What is this? Got some dead flowers, but you can see these things stuck in the ground. Let's dig those up. Oh, just some flowers. I was kind of hoping that we'd dig up some seeds. But we'll just take those flowers. I can use them for something. Anybody upstairs? It'd be great if I could find some ghosts. Ooh, chest. What do we get? Ooh, survival scroll. I'm not sure what that does yet, but I saw some acorns, right? Dry grain. Did I get those acorns? I did. Okay, great. Yeah, I've had to use acorns for some big crafting projects, so having those is great. Or I could plant them to grow some more trees. What's going on in here? Plant fibers. Ooh, festival cakes. Those are nice because they're very filling. I don't think you can use them for anything else. But when you're like, I need to eat a whole cake, they've got you covered. There's something glowing over here. Now, as you run around, you do see a lot of dead plants. I wonder if there's any way to bring them back to life. Take those grains. But, you know, like all these trees and stuff, it'd be kind of nice if we could move them or cut them down or, you know, bring them back to life to use them in some way. I don't know if you can or not. What's glowing in here? Oh, it's another gate. It's broken, but what do I need? Oh, yes. So you need an acorn to activate these gates and essence, which is the like ghost spirits, and some wood. So I have enough of that. Let's activate this one. And then I'll be able to take that straight back home, or I can come straight back here, which is nice. A little shortcut. Now those pink things you see in the distance, those are, they let you know where the sources of corruption are. I don't remember what they're called exactly, but if you follow, they're being shot out of the corruption. So if we follow that back to the source, you would find like a corrupted area. And we want to clear those out, you know, we want to mend the wild, you might say. So that kind of gives you, ooh, more cakes. That kind of gives you a hint as to where you want to take your mirror and go wipe some guys out. I'm curious to see if there's anybody up here. Or if it's just a couple of treasure chests. Ooh. No ghosts, but umbrella mushrooms. Oh, we can use essence to sing and it'll grow better. I did pick one up. I think I could plant that back at home. Now, instead of taking the stairs down, let's take my other mushroom down. Oh, yeah. So, I'd say if you like other games like this, you know, I've played Raft before. If you like the survival aspects of Minecraft, you know, any type of game where you start with just a small place to live and you spend time, you know, making it better, exploring the wild. If you like that sort of game, this one is really good. I've really been enjoying it. I think it strikes a good balance of like, oh, wait, is that my garden? I think I've swirled all the way around. That's it. It does a good balance of like giving you time where you can work at home, giving you time where you can go out and explore. And like there's enemies to fight, but they're not so present that you have to fight all the time. Here we go. We'll fill up on essence from these plants. A dirty spring. I could drink from that, but it might make me a little sick. I think I'll just leave it. I'm okay. And we're close to home. But, you know, some survival games, it's like, oh, every time you walk out into the woods, you get attacked by a wolf or something, you know, and you have to constantly heal and get better weapons and stuff like that. But this is kind of like, you know, you'll see a ghost every once in a while, and you'll go to those corrupted areas to fight. But otherwise, it's a lot of gathering resources and then improving your garden at home, which I think is pretty cool. And I think this would be fun to play in multiplayer. Oh, I almost forgot one thing that I recently got. I can slide down these dunes now, I think. What do I do? I think, it's shift. So if we're like going downhill, we can surf down the dunes, which is pretty nice. Oh, yeah. And we've made it back home. So, that is just a very quick look at Wildmender. I would say that when I started playing this at first, I was really lost because I was like, oh great, you know, I have a little puddle of water, I have a bunch of sand and dead plants. You know, what am I gonna do? And I didn't really have a plan at first, but after you play for a little bit, you know, the tutorials walk you through how the tools work and everything. And once you've kind of gotten through that, the world really opens up. Like, it literally opens up. You start out the game in kind of a protective bubble. And after you kind of learn the basics, the bubble opens up and you're like, okay, well, now I can go wherever I want and do whatever I want. And at that point, I was like, oh, you know, now I kind of understand how to plant things. I'm finding all these different seeds. And you're kind of free to do whatever you like as long as you stay alive. My current quest is to go to the salt flats and see what's going on there. I'm not even sure exactly where that is. I think it might be that direction. But I'll go check that out later. I can see some corruption that I could go wipe out. Or I could just go around, look for ghosts, look for treasure chests, and add things to the garden, you know. I want to get these trees grown and see what else I can find. I think I can use this ancestral altar to look for ghosts. Yeah, if I'm like, oh, I want to find an arcane ghost. It's like, the closest one is this way, and it's marked on my map so I could go find it and unlock some new skills. But yeah, I think Wildmender has a lot of different elements, you know, in a combination that I haven't really seen before. And it's really interesting. It's relaxing, and like I'm excited to find new seeds, and I'm excited to learn new skills because that could just totally open up my options here. And while my garden may not look like much yet, you know, there's a lot of potential. So that's all I wanted to show you today. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me. And future friends, thank you so much for sending me a code for this game. If you couldn't tell, I'm really enjoying it so far. And looking at that map, there's a whole lot more for me to find. But if you like the look of this game, it is out now. Go check it out, Wildmender by Muse Games. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you next time.